I'm Michaela Taaffe. I was one, so I had text. And I think some pros of having the text was that I was able to make my own decisions on the material based off of just reading it and not being able to see the verbal cues that could lead me to use other people's opinions and kind of adopt them as my own. But a negative was that I wasn't able to see those interactions, so just reading the text you can tell that the two speakers are jumping at each other, but it's a little bit difficult to see if they're jumping out of excitement or they're just really passionate. It's harder to get the fact that there's anger coming across, and you don't really realize that until the moderator in the text says that one of them has gotten up and left the room because the debate was so heated. So I think that's kind of a con of the whole process. And text is a cool media, so it's interesting because you kind of are allowed to add your own and you like put your own effort into deciding what you think, as opposed to something else that would give you more of like how you should think straightforwardly.
Hi, I'm Lizzie Jeffrey.
And I'm Butler.
And we did video only, so we had to basically go off of only the facial expressions and gestures and like lip movement of the character, or not the character, sorry, the people, to know like what their relative relationship between the two were.
Yeah, and as we talked about in lecture, pictures are better than words, and there were some words on the screen describing what they were talking about, but I can't even tell you exactly what they said. It was about Representative Ryan and Clinton agreeing about health care reform, so it was really like the focus was on the people that were in the frames, the moderator, and the two gentlemen that ended up arguing.
Yeah, we were able to realize that there was some like heated emotion going on from their like physical like hand gestures that were going like this, and when their lips were moving at the same time, we could tell that they were interrupting each other, but we didn't know exactly what they were saying or like what the subject was even about. So that was a con for just video.
We knew that we couldn't tell that he was getting up until, I guess, yeah, the hand gestures and some of the facial cues. But then when he finally pulled his microphone up, we didn't know exactly what the point was that they were disagreeing on that made that happen.
Yeah, and by watching the video, we saw that the moderator kept the frame of the of Simon on, so you wouldn't see that in just the script, and so we could like see that they were emphasizing that he was gone and his absence was like a big deal.
Hi, I'm Farmakis. I just had audio. I thought it was really cool because I was able to pick up on a lot more detail. In the beginning, I kind of didn't know who was Simon and which one was Ben, but throughout it, I was able to figure out which one they were. And also, like with their like just listening, I was able to know there was like every controversial issue they were talking about, and then throughout it, I was able to like hear the growing anger. I didn't see when Simon left, but I was able to know like what was going on by like I could hear the mic coming off, and then when the commentator added that Simon had left, I was able to understand it all. I think with audio, there's definitely like a mix of media of hot and cold because you're able to hear their emotion, but I don't really get to see it, so I kind of add my own picture of what's going on, even like what they look like and what kind of like news channel it is. So I think just audio is a really cool media in itself.
My name is Jordan Kutzer, and I was the audiovisual portion. And watching the video, you could see the emotions along with hearing them, and that combination of the visual and the audio created the hot media. There was no room for interpretation, and it made me question whether this was scripted or not, because it just seemed like with all this coming at me, it just seemed too complicated of a situation. It seemed more like a ruse than an actual debate. So I felt like that was kind of the con of